Welcome back to the Remote Control Podcast, a podcast covering all things movies, comics, TV, music, video games, and more. I'm the hostess with the mostest, Robert Slavinsky, and with me for the 49th time on TRC is Colton Bird.
Yo. You may be the hostess with the mostest, but I still have perkier man breasts.
I don't know, man. Mine are pretty...
As we both grab our titties.
So what's going on? Haven't talked to you for a while, you know?
Yeah, it's not like you're my boss or anything.
We pretty much talk on a daily basis.
Yeah. Well, no, it's been a day. I haven't seen.
Yeah. There was a little talk yesterday, wasn't there, in the Airsoft group chat?
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
So what's going on? How have things been? You know, how's the new job? How are the wife and kids?
Cool. It's cool. I don't have any kids. My wife divorced me.
Well,
insert violin noise here. Anyway, nah, I'm pretty cool. Waking up at like early in the morning is kind of rough right now, but
the first couple weeks will be rough.
Yeah,
it was for me. I think it took me about 3 weeks, maybe almost a month, until I was like, okay, I'm used to waking up at 6:30 or 6 in the morning, 5:30, 6 in the morning. Yeah,
no, I literally slept like 12 hours from last night to today.
Jeez,
I fell asleep at 10. I didn't wake up till 10.
Yeah, that I still get those days occasionally, like once every other week or something like that, where I'll get home from work, I'll sit down, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch. I'm just out, literally at like 5 p.m. at night. I'm out, and I don't wake up until 5 in the morning. Like, it just happens sometimes.
I did what I wanted to do, and I just was like,
anything fun this past week though? Anything? Movies, TV, comics.
I watched The End of the Fucking World. I watched It's the End of the Fucking World or End of the Fucking World or something on Netflix. Watched the first 4 episodes of that.
And?
It's okay. It's weird. It's definitely indie. Like, you can tell it's super indie. It has the vibe. It's an okay story. I mean, it's comic book, so I guess technically. I don't know. I need to look up what comic book it is, though.
Probably the same name.
Did you hear that silence? But no, other than that.
So... I've been meaning. I don't think I've talked to you about this at all, and I don't know if you pay attention to this stuff. I know He Who Shall Not Be Named really pays attention to this stuff. I know my brother does. There's a lot of people that like this kind of stuff. But this past week, the SpaceX program launched.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't watch it.
Their Falcon Heavy rocket into space, and the coolest thing was it was carrying a 2018. Tesla, you know, and people are like freaking out, why would they waste money sending a Tesla up? First off, it's part of the test. They had to have something heavy inside of it to see if they can shoot it into space and to get it into orbit and get it to where it wants to go, because it's headed towards Mars, which is fucking awesome as all hell. But you didn't watch, dude. I'm telling you, you need to watch it.
Yeah, it's on my list of shit to do.
I mean, the video online that I found, it's like a 45-minute long video, and it talks about everything. The first 25 minutes or so, it's all talking about, like, this is what it is, this is why we're doing it, this is, you know, what it's going to do for us. And then the final, like, 20 minutes or so is them shooting it off into space and everything. Dude, it took less than fucking 5 minutes to get into fucking outer space.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
My ejaculate takes 2.
But I think the coolest thing about it is the rockets that they use. Like, okay, so it shoots off, shooting into, you know,
it's like,
and then, you know, the rockets detach from it. Now, normally, like, how our old space shuttles used to go is they would launch, they would go, the rockets would fall off, and they would deteriorate, they would break, they would fall into the ocean. Done. Could never be used again. These rockets, dude, they break off, and then they fly land at a certain, like, location. And the coolest fucking thing was they landed simultaneously right next to each other perfectly.
What?
It was crazy. So they're reusable rockets, which saves millions of dollars. You know, it's just fucking brilliant. Like,
that's beautiful. We're mastering space travel.
Exactly. It's one of the coolest things that I've ever witnessed. You know, I remember the final spacecraft launch was on the day of my son's birth. And I literally had my youngest son, and I literally had it on in the delivery room. Now, I wasn't able to watch it because stuff was going on, but, like, you know,
there was another launching happening in the room.
But it's just so cool to, like, all right, so I experienced the final shuttle launch, you know, which was cool because NASA's going in a different direction, getting away from the old shuttles they used to use. but now you have SpaceX, which is a completely privatized space program, and like what they're doing, it's like NASA. What like NASA's just sitting on their ass, you know?
Yeah, they're just sitting there collecting the paycheck at this point.
And NASA, you know, now they have, I think, helped in some ways with SpaceX, but they're two different programs, you know, and it's pretty cool. I mean, Elon Musk, who is the one who's behind the SpaceX program, I mean, the things that he does and how he just, I don't know where he got his money, but he just throws always fucking money and everything like this. It's just so cool. I don't know. I can't.
He's a nerd that had a heart.
But I mean, the way, if I'm not mistaken, so they shot the Tesla off into space, which has a little spaceman in the driver's seat. By the way, I don't know if you know that. There's a spaceman in the driver's seat.
Is that a robot or a real guy?
It's not a real guy.
It's a real guy. Cool.
But it's supposed to orbit around the sun, and then it's going to hit the orbit of Mars, and that's kind of the idea is when we launch, when we go to when we start making our trek to Mars, which is the whole point of this. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to shoot out into space, orbit around the sun for an X amount of time. We're then going to cross paths with the orbit of Mars and hit Mars,
and hopefully it cuts off time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's still going to take a while, but
not like 40 years or some shit like that they did before.
I mean, I don't know what it would be. I mean, it's not that long.
Fact check me here.
But I just think it's fucking phenomenal. Like I can't wait to see where this is all going, because
we might see it in our lifetime.
In our lifetime? Oh yeah, I can see us within 20 years, people, not like normal people, but you know, astronauts and people living on Mars trying to start up, you know, and get things ready for a civilization 100 years from now.
And then Alien Covenant happens.
Oh man.
Or no. Fuck, what was the name of that? Or Prometheus happens.
Prometheus.
There we go. That would be cool. As fucked up as that sounds, that would be cool.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want to see people die, but
could you imagine that? I'd be like, holy fuck, not fiction anymore.
What else happened this week? Yeah, I watched a good bit of stuff. I started watching Altered Carbon.
Yeah,
which
a lot of titty from what
there's a lot of booby in it. There's a lot of booby, a lot of front facing beaver shots.
Nice,
and a lot of dong shots. So,
I like seeing beavers just building their dams, but they get a nice profile.
I tell you what, this show it's so. I'm not a big fan of the Blade Runner movie. I never saw 2049. I haven't seen that yet. But the first Blade Runner, I've just never been able to watch. I fall asleep during it all the time.
Which version of the Blade Runner?
I don't know.
The first or the 74th
final cut or whatever. Either way, I've never been able to get through it. I fall asleep through it all the time because it just bores me to death. And you know, it's tough for me to say, being a big sci-fi fan and also being a huge fan of Harrison Ford. Not being able to watch a Harrison Ford movie through it bothers me. But I can't do it. I've tried multiple times. This show has a very, very, like, Blade Runner feel to it. Like, it just, you watch it and you're just like, wow, there's shots. It's beautifully shot, you know, and obviously a lot of it is special effects, you know, but it's visually stunning, and it reminds you a lot of Blade Runner. But then there was a couple times where I got like a Fifth Element feel to it, but it also has its own type of feel, and it's, at first I thought it was going to be kind of like a mix of Blade Runner and like John Wick. The way the show starts, I'm like, oh shit, this could be really like as I was sitting there thinking about it, I was like, god damn, why didn't anybody else think of it? And they didn't think of it. That's not what they did with it. But hey, anybody out there, you can go ahead and take that idea, because I think it'd be pretty badass.
Well, you can't take it. We have a trademark. Fuck off.
Blade Runner, John Wick type of style, that'd be fucking awesome. But Joel Kinnaman, he plays the main character in the show. If you don't know who Joel Kinnaman is, he played the new RoboCop in the newest RoboCop movie. He was Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
He's also Ric Flair in Ric Flair. And
he also played a really good role in House of Cards as a senator running for president 1 or 2 seasons ago on House of Cards. I think he's a really good actor. I haven't watched a movie with him in it that I haven't enjoyed his performance. I'm not going to say RoboCop was a good movie, but his performance was good.
Yeah.
And he gets a bad rap for some reason. I don't know why. Like I was on Facebook going through some things, on Twitter even, like talking to people about Alter Carbon, and people were like, yeah, only if they would have gotten somebody else other than Joel Kinnaman. I'm like, I think he's doing a hell of a job in the show, I don't know, but it's really good. It's a murder mystery type of show. So check it out. The futuristic feel, there's a noir feel to it as well.
I already kind of like this already.
I'm telling you, check it out. I think if you're a sci-fi fan, especially if you're somebody who really enjoyed the Blade Runner movies, I think you'll really, really like Altered Carbon. So check that out.
Before we go on, I just had an idea for videos for the YouTube channel,
which is
just get a whole bunch of stuff and let's run it over in a lawnmower with a lawnmower. Like, get a watermelon, run it over.
They already do that kind of stuff.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, not in slow motion.
I'm sure they do.
We're just going to do it.
What does that have to do with what I was talking about?
Because it'll be entertaining.
It's not that entertaining.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Let's see. I watched, 3 movies this week. I watched Daddy's Home 2, Downsizing, and Coco. And I'm going to go worst to best. Downsizing, fucking horrendous.
Yeah, I know. You gave me the summary.
I gave you the summary. I'm not going to go over the summary now because it took me about 20 minutes to do it.
The nub rub.
This movie, first off, like, essentially, they sold this movie on the fact that, 1, Jason Sudeikis, and 2, that Kristen Wiig were in this movie. Right there, both being comedy, figures. They're in some of my favorite, modern day comedies. Both of those characters are in. They're like, hey, look, these people are in it. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's going to be a bit of a comedy. Matt Damon can be funny from time to time.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's going to be cool. Midgets.
And the concept of downsizing, that's a funny concept. The trailer where they show his wife doesn't go through with it. And he's like, oh, like, that's a funny concept. Like, okay, let's see how this goes.
I can see the stereotypical opens pants. Oh, man, everything shrunk.
Well, there is a moment where he feels his
junk.
They're like, oh, okay, it's still there. Like, that's pretty much what happens.
It's so small.
But, the thing about it is it's not a comedy one iota. I giggled twice, maybe, in the movie, and at moments that just shouldn't have been even funny.
Yeah.
Just because they were stupid.
Just the nub rub.
But, honestly,
that's a t-shirt right there.
Kristen Wiig and Jason Sudeikis combined total maybe have 10 minutes in a 2-hour and 15-minute film. So the 2 stars that they were really banking off of on the marketing, like, hey, look, these 2 people are in it. Not only that, but their names are on the fucking poster.
Yeah.
Like, they're in it for 10 minutes. And it's just like, why market it that way? Because it's not a good movie. It's slow. It's boring. It's unfunny. And there's really no good meaning behind it. Like, I can get behind dramas that have a good meaning, but there's the character arc makes no sense. Like, his journey, it's all over the place. They try to add things into the film that, oh, this will make you care about something, but you really don't. They don't bring it up again.
Yeah.
They only hint at something one time, and then they bring it up again at the end of the movie and think it's this big deal. It's like, what the hell? Like,
yeah,
whatever. So,
and then that crazy turn at the end.
The crazy turn at the end. What kind of fuck? What kind of fuck?
Sad fuck.
Sad fuck? Love fuck? Like, literally.
Fuck.
The Asian
duck fuck.
There's a character. She's a Vietnamese woman, and look, that may be her real accent, but to me, I feel like it was a horrible Asian accent speaking, English. Like, it was just bad. Like, there were times where it made me cringe. Like, it was just like that. Really? So,
would you choose those words? I wouldn't choose those words.
I don't know. Look, it is what it is. But it's not a good movie. So if you can avoid it, avoid the shit out of that movie. Just avoid it.
Avoid it so hard.
As hard as you can. I saw Daddy's Home 2. Daddy's
really?
Home
That's second best?
Yeah, it's second best.
That's a surprise.
I tell you what, it wasn't as good as the first one, because the first one completely caught me off guard. Like, I had no expectations for it. Like, Will Ferrell's hit or miss, you know, and his character in Daddy's Home seemed like he was going to be the same character from that movie from the mid-2000s called Kicking and Screaming.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it seemed like he was going to be. And he was, but it was still good. It was still funny. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a good family comedy, and I enjoyed Daddy's Home. So when Daddy's Home 2 was coming out, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot, especially them adding John Lithgow, who I think is hilarious. Mel Gibson, who, in the right role can be funny, in the right role he can be shitty, and this was a role for him that worked. Like, I liked him in this role. And then John Cena shows up in this movie as well.
They couldn't see him.
And I know a lot of people give John Cena shit for his acting, but he's getting better.
But they need to adjust their attitudes.
He's getting better. He's definitely getting better. And I like the movie. I'm not going to say it's better than the first. It's not. But it has its moments. And one of the funniest moments comes towards the end of the movie. And I mean, it's a little predictable, but it's still funny as shit. Like, I sat there and laughed for probably a good 30-40 seconds at that at what happened. So to me, if a movie that's supposed to be a comedy makes me laugh and it has a decent message behind it, I'm all for it, because it does. It has a really good message with it as well. So,
don't be a piece of shit.
Basically, yeah, it's basically what it is.
That's the message we get across here at the Remote Control.
Now, the third movie I watched, which was absolutely the best. Was the best movie I've seen.
But before you go into it, you judged me for seeing that movie.
I did judge you for seeing this movie. And speaking of message, this had an amazing, amazing message. And I watched Coco. And I haven't watched a Disney Pixar film since, I want to say, Toy Story 3, maybe?
And that was rough. Toy Story 3 was bad.
It wasn't good. I mean, I always say, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I never end up watching the Pixar films because they always try to do the same thing. Like, it's a
you got
story.
A friend in me.
Well, it's a good story, then we're gonna make you cry, and then you're gonna be happy again. Like, that's the same formula for all Pixar films.
You dinged.
I did ding. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, maybe. This one won't be like that, but it probably will be. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. Holy crap, dude, did it get me in feels.
It smacks you around a little
bit. Dude, first off, the art is beautiful in this movie. The art is fantastic.
I wholeheartedly agree. That's one of the reasons I wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's the art is amazing. The kid, Miguel, he is one of those characters that you love watching, and you love seeing his character development and his arc through the movie. You root for him, like you want him to succeed. Like, that's it. And it's so, they do it perfectly within the first 5 minutes of the movie. They're like, so this is where we're at, and this is Miguel, and you're like, oh fuck, like, come on, Miguel. Yeah, Miguel, go. You play that music, man. Yeah.
We're rooting for you, man. We got you. I'll buy a CD.
We got your back. Your family sucks.
Yeah, your family? Yeah, they'll never get into America.
Build the wall. Oh.
Whoops.
Whoa. Okay, anyways.
Anyway, back to not politics.
Honestly, his character is so cool. Like, I love his character. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. But his journey through the land of the dead, which when we first saw the trailer for this, I was like, how are they gonna kill a little kid in a Pixar movie? And they don't actually kill him, but almost do. I mean, this is a dark movie.
Yeah,
it's a dark movie. And
it's a very adult-like movie.
But it's so good, and there's a reveal in it, just as most movies nowadays have. Like, we're gonna say it's this thing, but it's actually this thing, and it worked. I mean, while I figured it out probably within the first 30 minutes of the movie, I thought that it was going to ruin the experience for me. But when you get to probably the last, really the final maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, the feels, dude, like, you just start getting hit, and
the roller coaster just takes the tips.
Having a daughter, especially, having kids at all, I think
I can't relate,
is why it hit me so hard. And the biggest fear, the big thing about this is, I don't know, and they explain it well enough. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I understand all of the way of how Mexico and Hispanic people celebrate things, but
they do a good enough job explaining it.
Yeah, it's about celebrating on the Day of the Dead, and the whole idea is that they put up pictures of their family and leave out things for them, so when they come.
Actually, isn't that coming up, Cinco de Mayo?
Well, is that what it is? I don't know. Anyways,
it's tomorrow, actually.
No, it's not May tomorrow.
Yeah. Cinco de Mayo? No, wait, no. I swear to
Cinco
God.
de Mayo. You realize
on,
Cinco
hold
is
on,
5.
hold on.
Mayo is May.
on,
The 5th of May is Cinco de Mayo.
Hold on. No, that's Mardi Gras. Never mind.
Oh my God.
Sorry, wrong titty day.
Cinco de Mayo. There's no titties in Cinco de Mayo.
Shut up. Got dead titties at Cinco de Mayo.
Anyways.
It's Mardi Gras tomorrow, by the way.
Anywho, so the whole thing of Day of the Dead is they celebrate the people that families have lost over the years. So they put their pictures up, they leave stuff out for them to take back with them to the land of the dead to use, and they really play off of that really well. And Miguel he refuses, he's like, I don't care, because the whole idea is their family does not allow music at all, because their earliest ancestor that they go back to, the mother, her husband left because he was a musician, and he leaves, and because he leaves from music, she goes, no music in our family anymore. We got to stay away from music because it destroyed our family. It tore us apart. So for generation to generation to generation, there's been no music. Well, Miguel, he's drawn to the music. He's just, it's a generational thing. He loves music. He's an amazing guitar player, everything like that.
I heard him play chop suey once.
And they just keep telling him, no, you can't play music and stuff like that. So he's like, I don't care about our family. If they're not going to support me in something that I love, I don't care about my family.
If you can't handle me at my diddliest, you don't deserve me at my doodliest.
So they, the movie is essentially about family and acceptance and everything like that. And that's one portion of it. But then there's another portion of it on the other side with the Land of the Dead, where you don't want to be forgotten. The whole idea of living is to be remembered, to pass something on to your children, to your family, for them to always remember you, and to not forget that you did play a role in this world in some way, shape, or form. That's the whole other side of it. And, I'm only, 32 years old, but, I'm sitting here thinking, that's what I want. I want to make sure my kids never forget me. I want them to be able to pass things on to their kids. This was your grandfather. And then, they pass on to their, this was your great-grandfather. This is what he did. That's what I want. You can go ahead and laugh.
No, because, this generation's yeah, your great-grandfather ate Tide Pods.
Yeah.
That's why I started to laugh.
But, that's what I look at. So not only do I sit here and understand the whole family aspect and, acceptance and
do what you need to do type thing.
Do what you love.
Yeah.
But also being remembered. So it hit me on multiple levels, this movie, and it's so good. There's a moment where, there's... I'm not. It would spoil it if you haven't seen it. But there's just a moment where there's a father singing to a daughter, and I literally started to well up and start to cry at that moment. There's a couple other parts where it's just it hits you and you just get choked up. It's just such a good movie. My hat's off to you, Disney and Pixar. This is probably one of the best experiences for a movie that I've for a long time for me. One that I just absolutely loved, start to finish. So awesome job with that. Let's see.
See, I'm not bad at picking movies, man. I could pick a good kids movie.
Which is?
Coco. Remember?
Oh.
I saw it when it first came out. Anyway, so we got some other news.
Well,
congrats to Nerdtocalypse.
Oh yeah, that's good idea. Yeah. Nerdtocalypse, who we talk about probably way more than we probably should. Probably more than our own podcast.
Yeah, we promote them more than we self-promote.
But Nerdtocalypse, I know that you guys are recording today as well. I wish we could be there with you.
Yeah,
but
we're giving you our power.
We're giving you our power. Here you
power
go.
Up the spirit bomb that is your podcast.
But congratulations, guys. 2 years of podcasting this month. Yo. Amazing job. I've listened to probably about half of their shows at this point. They're kind of I listen to every new one that comes out, and whenever I don't have anything else to listen to, I go back into their catalog and listen to some of their older stuff. And I tell you what, it's a fun show. They've evolved, just like we have. Podcasting is one of those communities, and things that you do is that you evolve over time. If you were to listen to our very first show to now, we're drastically different. I think we're better as well.
Oh, by a mile.
So
I talk in this one. I also know not to mute my mic halfway through a podcast.
We also are able to be in one room now. This first couple, you were up in my bedroom, and I'm down here in the dining room,
and my mic was muted one time, and everybody was wondering why I wasn't talking, and I went, "Oh shit."
But I tell you what, Deej Penhala, who and his buddy Lane, they run Nerdtacalypse. It's excellent, and not only is it just a congratulations on 2 years, which is I think a milestone in itself, but they've been helping us become better as well. There's been a lot of things over the last 6 months. I started I think I met him, it was about 6-7 months ago.
Yeah, something around
in a random podcast group on Facebook. And we started talking. He helped me out with a new logo. He's helped me out with ideas on how to reach more people and everything like that. And since then, we have grown. We have grown exponentially since talking to him and taking some of those ideas and everything. And I thank him so much. I know Colton is with me on that as well. Just, we want to thank him. So check their show out. It's called Nerdtacalypse Podcast. You can find it almost anywhere podcasts are found.
Yeah, right next to us.
Pretty much, yeah. But they're an excellent show, so check them out. They're a little more news-based than we are. We bullshit a little bit more than they do.
We're more off-topic than they are.
But they stick to a lot of geek news, mostly, comic book TV shows, movies, and comic books,
You're a
stuff
comic
like that.
book.
So they're an excellent show. Check them out. A lot of fun. They also normally, I don't know if they still do it, but they do a lot of live shows on YouTube. So you can also
we need to do that sometime.
the last one we did was for the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah, and we had a great fucking turnout.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun too.
Other than assholes, but you know who you assholes are.
But we'll go from there. Now, before we really get into the show, even though we've been going for like 30 minutes.
Here, hold on. I can tell you. 20.
Yeah.
5.
So before we get into things, I just want to talk a little bit about thanking people, all the newcomers who are listening to us, all the people who are returning. Thank you for listening to us and continuously supporting us. It's great to see everybody there. Remember that you can always stay in the loop with all things regarding our show on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as YouTube from time to time. As we're just talking live shows, we want to start doing more live shows, which hopefully with some things that are coming up, we're going to be doing.
Yeah. We got some news coming.
Now, I know last week I talked about the T-shirts. We've been promoting them for probably about a month now.
Yeah.
And basically, we just want to throw out this, due to some circumstances that have come up, which we are going to be announcing in a few weeks, this is going to be the final week that you can purchase one of the awesome Remote Control Podcast T-shirts. So get them or don't. It's whatever at this point.
Let's start a live right that.
I mean, it'd be great to help support us, but I understand if you don't want to right now, it is what it is. But we're going to be announcing why we had to end the run of these T-shirts this week. So next Sunday will be the last day that you can get them. Next Monday, they will no longer be on sale. So
Sadly.
onward to the show.
Yay! We're on that rocket. Rocket Man.
Falcon Heavy rocket.
Burning out his fuse up there alone. Please don't trademark us, YouTube.
TV, Stranger Things Season 3 will reportedly have a total of 8 episodes, which is down from the 12, I think, or 10 that they've had. 10 or 12, I can't remember.
I think it was 10.
Which I'm okay with. Like, I've been saying for a long time, a lot of these Netflix shows
shouldn't be any longer than that.
It always feels like there's one or too many episodes.
Especially with like last season of Stranger Things.
Yeah, last season felt a little bit long.
Like 11's storyline, as much as I hate to say it, was basically irrelevant.
Well, there was that one episode that was complete filler.
Yeah, like it was completely irrelevant to anything.
Where she was in Chicago, and it was just it was building the universe. I get that, because they are looking at expanding the universe, but it just
you could have did that better.
So we'll see how that all goes with Stranger Things. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next season. I think the novelty of Stranger Things is starting to wear off already, though.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first season. I was like, holy crap, did you see it? Can't wait for season 2. Season 2 came like, wow, season 2 was good. Season 3's coming. All right. And now it's like, all right, when season 3 gets here, I'll watch it. That's kind of how it is to me right now.
I still like it, though.
I'm not saying I don't like it.
Series.
I just
jump-started all those kids' careers.
Very true, yeah. Let's see.
I am interested in the direction they're going to take with it, though.
Yeah.
Like the Mind Flayer, who's basically a giant. What's that thing called? Progenius? I don't know what it's called. I'll have to look it up. It's a geek or Greek like serpent type thing. It has like 5 heads, like the Mind Flayer did.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna look that up. Ew, you use Firefox? That's disgusting.
Well, I figured instead of always signing you off and on of the things on Chrome, I was like, I'll take over Firefox. You can use Chrome. That way, if I need to sign in, if I need to sign into things, I don't need to log you off. That's all. I'm not using Microsoft Edge. I can tell you that much right now.
Yeah, no. Well, it's not as bad as you think it is, though.
I don't like it.
It's really not. Okay, so
it's better than Explorer, but not by much. Really?
Okay. Anyway, if you can't come over here, so it's basically the Mind Flayer. I'll show you after the show.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell our listeners something
It's
new.
okay. Hold
What's
on.
it called?
It's a Hydra. It's Progenitus. In Magic the Gathering, you need 2 of each mana. It is a 10/10.
Wait. How did we go from Stranger Things to Magic the Gathering? Did I miss something?
No, because Mind Flayer is a Magic the Gathering card. Literally.
I can guarantee it didn't start from Magic the Gathering, though.
Yeah, but I couldn't find the fucking name of the actual creature.
Jesus Christ.
So I associated it with what I knew it was. It was a 10/10 protection from anything. If it's put in the graveyard from anywhere, and then you just put it back in your library if it's destroyed. But if you can't destroy it, then how does it get back? Anyway.
So moving on to the next story. It has been reported that Disney's upcoming streaming service will not have any R-rated content on the platform. I'm not going to go say the next thing yet, but how do you feel about that?
I kind of expected
So
it.
here's the thing. So Disney is in the middle of attempting to purchase 20th Century Fox, or 21st Century Fox, whatever it's called now. A lot of their stuff is R-rated.
Yeah.
A lot of their shows are edgier shows, like, Sons of Anarchy, The Shield, stuff like that, which would be awesome to have on the streaming service, but it looks like they won't, because Sons of Anarchy, it's an R-rated show. Like, it's
bad.
Bad. The Shield, it's like the same thing. So, like...
It's geared towards kids.
I get that, but...
It makes the purchase almost irrelevant.
I mean, what's the point of creating the yeah, exactly, because that was the whole, like, everybody believed the whole idea about getting, you can throw The Simpsons on there. Okay. Family Guy, I don't think you can put on there.
No, you can't.
Futurama, maybe, that's a little edgier. The Cleveland Show, which is horrible. American Dad, maybe.
Yeah, but like...
I mean, honestly, like, when you really think about it, a lot of these...
That purchase was probably for episode 4. Like,
and the Marvel properties.
Yeah, like, that's pretty much it.
Not Spider-Man, but X-Men and Fantastic Four. Like, that's probably what it's for.
Yeah, they just were like, let's buy the whole studio.
Yeah, and I mean, they do have kids' movies, that they can put on there. It's just, it's kind of shocking to me that, it's...
Maybe they'll launch a second one. You never know.
They could. I mean,
it's Disney. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, they basically. Star Wars talk news. Staying with the streaming service, it also seems there's going to be more than one Star Wars live action series being created for the streaming service. Now, this kind of upsets me a little bit because
we'll get a Jar Jar. Yay!
I'm not saying I want a hard R Star Wars series, but I want something a little more adult. Like, I really do. Like, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But I at least want to see it tried. Like, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
For how everybody hates The Last Jedi, or a lot of people hate The Last Jedi, the whole thing with The Last Jedi is they tried something different. They went a different way with the Star Wars universe in doing something that we've not seen before. And people didn't take it well. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't keep trying to do different things.
Yeah.
And that's what I want them to do. I want to see them continuously doing different things, and maybe, hopefully, something will come up with it,
Maybe. You never know. When they realize, oh, hey, adults are buying this and not kids, Again, George Lucas's stance was always Star Wars is for kids. Yeah.
So whether Lucasfilm is going to continue that direction or
not even with Star Wars, just the whole streaming service.
Oh, yeah.
Just like... the kids aren't subscribing to this, adults are.
Yeah, the adults are paying for it, not the kids.
But... Yeah, and they do something like Netflix did, where there's like a kids section and an adult section.
Yeah, I mean, they could.
Yeah.
They could essentially do that. George Lucas supposedly had some input on the direction of one scene in the Solo movie. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on set visiting Ron Howard, talking to him, just checking things out, and basically they were in the middle of shooting a scene, and George Lucas was like, hey, why don't you have Han do this? And boom, they had him do it, and then they kept it.
Like,
that's all that happened.
It's just so his name can be in the credits?
No, I don't think it will be. because Steven Spielberg helped George Lucas on Episode 3, and Steven Spielberg's name is not anywhere in the credits.
Really?
Yes.
Gay.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's, to me, I mean, cool, having George Lucas on set, having him there, having him help, that's awesome. But Solo, that trailer sold me on the movie. I want to see the movie now.
I'll see it once.
And
maybe twice.
We'll see how it goes from there. Continuing with Star Wars news, I don't have it written here, and I can't remember if we talked about it last week, but the creators of Game of Thrones are...
I don't remember if we talked about it
I can't remember either. Creators of Game of Thrones are tapped to now create a Star Wars trilogy, did they say? They say it was a trilogy?
Yeah, no, it's a trilogy.
A trilogy of movies. It will be disconnected from the Rian Johnson as well as the Skywalker saga.
Interesting.
More talking about, I think we did talk about this last week. See, what sucks is I didn't have any show notes from last week.
Yeah, no,
so.
we just went... No, we had to because we went straight down the group last week.
But...
breaking news.
Breaking news. No, I think it's a great idea. I like it still, and I think we did. We did talk about this because I said I think they're going to be the ones that go the Old Republic route, and not. I think we're going to see an Old Republic style, like Game of Thrones type of series. And Rian Johnson, I still think is going to do the first Jedi stuff. The first Jedi, the first Sith, which is going to be even further back than the Old Republic, in my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen.
Then we see the prototype lightsabers, and no one's going to like them. Yeah. Because they were like a box with a string on the lightsaber, and you had to change out the battery every once in a while. Pretty much, that's basically what it was, too.
Jump into comic book films. We got our first look at the upcoming Sony Venom movie with a teaser of Tom Hardy going a few times. Look, I'm not sitting here saying that Venom is going to suck, but it's probably going to suck. But I'm not sitting here saying that I got that from the trailer. All right, I'm not saying that the trailer was horrible. What I'm saying is they should not have released a trailer. They should not have released something without actually showing Venom. And I get it. Filming just ended 2 weeks ago. That doesn't mean you throw out a trailer then.
Exactly.
My problem with this movie is less than a year ago they announced it. They're like, hey, we're making a Venom movie. And they're done shooting it, and it comes out in 6 months. Like, literally, it's a year from, hey, we want to do this, to writing, to shooting, to it being out. Movies can get done that fast. Movies like this normally don't do well when you do it that fast. Yeah. So, I mean, even movies that have had a year to shoot, look at something like Fantastic Four, which, had a normal shooting schedule and everything like that, still turned out like shit. This movie was fast-tracked, and I'm saying fast-tracked. Mm-hmm. That's why I fear it's not going to be good. And on top of the whole idea that it's disconnecting Spider-Man from Venom, which is a big reason why Venom is who Venom is. In the comics, you're removing Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And yes, there's rumor that Tom Holland's going to show up in the movie, but only as Peter Parker, not as Spider-Man. Okay, I get that. But another aspect of Venom, Eddie Brock is roughly the same age as Peter Parker in the comics and in the cartoons and stuff like that. Because, the relationship between him and, and girls and their job and stuff like that all plays into it. And Tom Hardy's like 40 and Tom Holland's like 6. Like, it just doesn't work out. Like, no,
he just shaves, okay? He got that baby face. Reality, he's 55.
But honestly, like, I that's my fear for the movie. It's not because I don't think the movie's going to suck because of the trailer. I just fear that it's not going to be good because of
continuity and
the whole idea behind it, essentially, and how quickly they made it.
It'd be a cool movie? Spider-Gwen. Let's get a Spider-Gwen movie.
Spider-Gwen movie. The trailer wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad trailer. It piqued my interest, and I really thought they were going to build up to, like, this is Venom. And even, like, I would have been cool if they would have ended it and not shown Venom completely, but at least shown Tom Hardy's face being overtaken by the symbiote. Mm-hmm. Like, and even if you didn't see it all, like, that would have been cool to, like, holy crap, like, okay, all right, you got my attention. But by the end of the trailer, I was just like, the title card is horrendous. And I know I had a fight with somebody on Facebook the other day about the fucking title card. Like, this dude was flipping shit on me because I was like, first I was like, you know what the title card reminds me of? ICP. No, not ICP, Disturbed. And then somebody's like, not Disturbed, Mushroom Head. I was like, that's it. It reminds me of the fucking Mushroom Head logo. Because it does, like,
it really does.
Exactly. And I'm like, get original, be original. Look, I get that the Venom, the way Venom is spelled out, that's the title card. is just like it was in the Carnage game from the Super NES back in the day or whatever. In some of the old comic books. Like, that's how it was written. Okay, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that it was a good design.
Yeah, like, you can reinvent it.
You can reinvent it. Not only that, but the design probably would have been okay if they didn't make it all shiny silver. Like, I think that's what, like the gloss that it has, just, it doesn't fit for what it is. On top of I saw a really funny thing where the eyes of Venom for the title card, somebody was like, it's 2 spilled glasses of milk. Because that's what it looks like. Oh my
god.
It really looks like 2 spilled glasses of milk.
The more you think about it, the funnier it gets.
So, like, yeah, I sit down, like, they really are rushing everything. And that is my worry. My worry is everything has been rushed. The title card looks like shit. The trailer didn't even show Venom. They didn't need to put a trailer out. That's my thing. Like, they could have waited 3 or 4 months and said, hey, here's a trailer for a movie that's coming out 3 or 4 months from now. They could have talked about it. They could have shown us pictures, behind-the-scenes stuff. That would have been fine. The trailer did not need to come out 2 weeks after principal photography ended, especially because you're not going to have a lot of your CGI done.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. So, dude who was fighting with me on Facebook, fuck you, you're an idiot.
Wow.
You need to calm the hell down. Because, dude, you're way too amped up over this. You're calling. He wasn't even calling. Like, he was fighting, like, everybody on that post. Like, he's
like, come here, you go catch these fucking hands.
It was crazy. Like, everybody was like, dude, calm down. Like,
calm down, keyboard warrior.
Exactly.
Put down the buttons, man.
Calm down. I mean, it is what it is. Like, dude was just passionate, and I can respect that. I can respect being passionate about something.
That's you. Anytime DC comes up in a conversation.
Exactly. So I can respect being passionate. It's just sometimes sometimes you just kind of gotta step back and say, you know what, you guys are right. Because at that moment, everybody's pretty right about this whole trailer and title card stuff. It's not good. It wasn't good. So that's that. Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 had a trailer. What did you think of that?
That was beautiful.
I liked it.
It was so beautiful.
It fucking got me, dude. Like, I'm watching it. There's the whole part where you see Cable, and then it's him with the green sleeve, and he's like, "Hold up! You're telling me we can't have completed CGI, whatever?" And he's like, "I'll finish it." That moment where he starts to do the little thing in the town, and Cable's sitting there, "I'm gonna destroy everything!" And then he throws his Deadpool character down. He goes, "Reach for the sky!"
Yes,
I fucking lost it.
No, everybody did. Like, that was just. Everybody lost their shit all over the floor.
The trailer wasn't quite as funny as I was hoping it would be. It had its moments. It's Deadpool,
Yeah,
I know the movie's gonna be good. I know it's not gonna be as good as the first one. It's gonna be tough to
replicate that.
And get that
feel again.
That feel, that novelty of that first movie, because it's one of those movies I can put in again and again and again and watch and still laugh at everything. So it's going to be tough to do that, but I thought the trailer was good. It was a really good trailer. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. And then when the action figures land on the ground, it says Deadpool or Wade on his foot, just like
that's beautiful. Like, whoever's in charge of Deadpool is just doing a fantastic fucking job.
Ryan Reynolds has a lot to do with the marketing.
Like, he is doing a fantastic fucking job of it.
Yeah, he really is. I loved it. I'm definitely looking forward to the movie, which comes out May 18th.
Yeah, that's a busy month. Can I use a lot of PTO that month?
That month? Why? Like, we can just leave work and go to the movie.
I know, but I'm still not used to all that yet.
All right, comic book films. Yay. So we just did that. DC, there we go.
Technically still comic book.
I got a lot of DC stuff here, so I apologize for all you DC haters.
You hate Marvel.
There's been a lot of DC stuff this past week, all right? So a deleted scene from the upcoming Blu-ray release of Justice League shows us the black suit that all fans so desperately wanted to see.
Yeah, I was one of those fans.
It's a good scene. Like, I like it. It's him walking into the ship.
Yeah. He's assuming after he's like immediately after he's
still in his bare. He still has bare. He's in his bare feet. He has no shoes on.
Yeah,
but he has a shirt on.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he went to Smallville, got a shirt, and then went there. Who knows how it worked out chronologically? It is what it is.
Yeah.
But he's walking through the ship, and compartments open, and you see the one suit comes out is the one that Zod was wearing in the first movie where he was scavenging a planet.
Yeah.
And then another compartment opens, and it's the black suit. And the music, man, it's the Hans Zimmer Junkie XL, or more Hans Zimmer more than anything, score behind it. And that right there was like, see, they fucking had music in it. They had Zimmer and Junkie XL music in that movie because, yeah, there was a moment where Danny Elfman used it, used that theme, but very, very briefly.
Yeah.
Why? God, why did they use Danny Elfman? Why?
It's been months, and Bob is still distraught about it.
Like it.
I'm telling you, we're going to get that, Zac Snyder cut.
Well,
6 months from now.
There's more information that continues to leak out about the shenanigans that took place with Warner Brothers, DC, and Zac Snyder. It is now being reported that Snyder was actually fired from the movie almost a year ago from today. A year ago from today. So that means if it was a year ago that he was fired, that would have been last February, he was fired.
Yeah.
The announcement of his daughter's passing, him stepping back, did not happen until May.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that's when he said he was stepping down, and it was his decision. So for that amount of time, we all believed from May to the release in November, we're like, okay, he stepped away, when they're saying that he was actually fired. Now, all that took place after an early cut of the film that Zac Snyder showed the Warner representatives. They're saying that is what caused Warner Brothers to say, nope, you're done. You're done.
Which is retarded. But...
We're going to bring Josh Whedon in. We're going to have him rewrite and reshoot. Like, that's when the decision was made. Not what we've been told for the last 8 or 9 months. No, he was fired. They brought in Whedon. They brought him in to rewrite and everything like that. The report goes on to say that the cast was totally against this from the very beginning, which doesn't surprise me. Especially if you saw how the dude who played Cyborg was acting. Like, he even had a shirt, that was like supporting Zac Snyder and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
it all makes sense.
A lot of things are starting to make sense and come together, and the fact that Justice League did so poorly, which again, I enjoyed the movie. I did enjoy it.
It's out, isn't it?
Digitally.
Digitally.
I think it comes out next week on Blu-ray, or...
I mean, I'm going completely digital. I'll buy it digital.
I don't even know if I'm going to buy it. Because, it makes sense. Like, I want the Snyder Cut. I want the Snyder Cut. Look,
I do too.
I want to own Justice League because I want to continue my collection. But I don't want to get it until I can see the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And it's not that I want the Snyder Cut to be like, okay, here's Man of Steel, BVS, Snyder Cut. I'll go Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League, what we saw in theaters. I'll go that route. I want the Snyder Cut released for me. I don't
just
care,
the personal satisfaction of it.
I don't care if the CGI is not finished. I don't care if the music isn't 100%. I don't, a lot of that stuff I don't care about. I don't care if we see a mustache on Henry Cavill, which we probably won't because that was after Zack Snyder left. I just want to see the movie. I want to see Zack Snyder's vision because it was Zack Snyder who got me so excited in Man of Steel for this universe. It was Zack Snyder who disappointed me with the theatrical cut of BVS, but the ultimate cut got me even more excited than I've ever been.
Himself.
But that's my point right there because Warner Brothers meddled with BVS and made the theatrical cut and ruined it. The Ultimate Edition, the Ultimate Cut, was more of Snyder's vision, and it was better. Do you see a trend here, people? I know people still have an issue with the Ultimate Cut. I get it, of BVS. But everybody knows that it was better than the theatrical cut. Everybody knows it was better than the theatrical version. So do you see a trend? Like, this Snyder Cut could be better than the one that Josh Whedon and Warner Brothers fucked with. It could be better. It may not be. And if it isn't, it isn't. But I don't think it would not hurt them to release what they have now.
Yeah.
If Zack Snyder had a cut put together, spend, $50,000, polish it up a little bit. Polish it up a little bit. $50,000, then throw it out for sale. They'll make that $50,000 plus more if they throw it out for sale. They're going to. And I think that's what they need to do. And it's not going to hurt them. They can say, look, this is not the version. This is not the universe. This is not continuity. But because You know, we want to appease the fans. We want to say sorry for all of what we've put you through and all of the confusion that's gone on for the past 5 years. Here's this for you guys. You know, check it out. If you like it, awesome. If not, it's what it is. And leave it at that.
7 dicks.
That's just that's what I think needs to happen, because there's been so many reports like there is a Snyder cut, there isn't a Snyder cut, there is a Snyder cut, there isn't a Snyder cut. Look, there was a cut, and again, it doesn't need to be complete. I'm somebody who can sit there and watch a movie with incomplete special effects and still understand what the motive and the idea behind it is. You know, so I watched 2 or 3 days ago on my Facebook memories, like, hey, remember this? The one Justice League trailer popped up. I was like, holy crap, it's been a year since that trailer came out. And I watched that trailer, and I'm like, holy shit, does this look awesome? And then I'm remembering the scenes from the movie, and holy shit, are they so completely different. And like I sit there, I'm like, this would have looked so much better than that. You know, yeah, it looked okay. You know, it looked good in the movie, but I love the way this looks and feels better than that. And it's just disappointing. You know, it's just upsetting.
I know, we were, second and third in line for that?
Yeah.
And saw it twice.
Yeah.
And accidentally had really good seating the second time.
But okay, I'm going to jump off of the...
You digress.
Jump off all that. Zachary Levi, or Shazam, tweeted a picture of himself on set of the upcoming Shazam film. Now, however, he was covered in a big black coat, and his message stating this: under this cloak, I'm wearing the full Shazam outfit. Jealous? We're going to get a review of the outfit soon. I hope they do it better than they did.
Such a dick tease.
I hope they do it better than what they did with Captain Marvel over at the MCU for her film. They basically were like, here's a picture of her on set with a green uniform, and everyone's like, what the fuck is that? First off, if you're a comic book fan, you understand what it is, and you don't get all pissed off about things, and understand that, one, special effects aren't in, two, it's character development. You know, you don't look at Iron Man. He's gone through like 97 different suits before he's to where he is now.
Yeah, before he's Iron Man himself.
So, like, I understand that. I just want them for Shazam. I want them to have a good shot. I remember the reveal for Superman, for Man of Steel, and it was an awesome shot during the fight with him and Feora in Smallville, and it's after he gets thrown through a building and he hits the bank vault, and he's sitting there hunched over by the bank vault, and that was our first shot of the new Superman, of Henry Cavill as Superman. I was like, that's a fucking badass shot. I want them to do something like that with Shazam. That's what I want to see. So it may be a little while until we get that, but whatever. I want to see a good shot. I don't want to see an on-set picture or anything like that. I want to see an action shot of what he's going to look like in a suit, because I think that will give it the most justice. Like, that'll do it the most justice of, like, this is Shazam. This is the real Captain Marvel. Fuck you, Marvel. You know, like, that's what I want to see. But the dude who plays Billy Batson, whatever his name is, but I can't remember what his name is. I just saw it before we started recording. He posted online his chair from the set of Shazam. It said Billy Batson on it, and he's like, I'm on set. So this movie is moving along. I'm excited about it. I can't wait. You know, with the rumor that Henry Cavill's Superman's going to be in it and stuff like that, I cannot wait to see this movie. I'm looking. It's
going to be tits.
Yeah, next March I think is the release date. So.
Oh wow, we still got a year. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Aquaman comes out at the end of this year, isn't it?
Aquaman comes out. I think they pushed it to November. Didn't they push it back?
No, it's December.
It's still December.
December 21st. Something around
17th or something. Yeah.
Something around there. Anyway.
Michael Bay. It was rumored earlier this week that Michael Bay was up for directing a Lobo standalone film. And then the next day it came out that he would only do it for $200 million budget.
Oh, fucking pocket change.
He's not going to direct Lobo. Not that I wanted him to direct Lobo to begin with. I don't think Lobo needs a movie. I think he would be a cool character to spread out and sprinkle through the DCEU from time to time. When you do a Green Lantern movie, you can have him pop up there. When you do something, when you introduce Darkseid and stuff like that, like, you can have Lobo pop up here and there, because he's an intergalactic bounty hunter.
Yeah.
So he can show, like,
he can pop in and
look,
out.
It's just like the Star Wars thing. I don't want to see a Boba Fett film, because that would ruin Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He's a bounty hunter. He's somebody who, he's cool to see here and there, but a whole movie probably would not do him justice. Now, the difference with him and Lobo actually is a really cool character. Like, he's got a very interesting, type of demeanor to him, and he's a very interesting character. So that's why it could work, but I don't.
But
think...
his character can balance in and out with no real rhyme or reason, and it makes sense.
And let's see how people take whoever they would cast first. You don't need to just say, "Here's a Lobo movie." Like, say, "Okay, let's make the Green Lantern movie and have him show up. Make him in a scene where Hal Jordan is going somewhere and he has to intercept somebody that there's a bounty on." You know, I'm not saying that's what they need to do, but something like that.
Yeah, set him up.
See if people how people respond to Lobo. If you can even do that kind of character on the big screen. Because he's a very different looking type of character. He's going to be mostly CGI.
Yeah.
So can you get away with it? Can you do it? And that's kind of how I feel about it.
I'm still rooting for a Martian Manhunter movie.
Eventually.
Anyway.
Eventually. Chris McKay.
Okay. Chris McKay.
Okay.
Okay.
Chris McKay gave a Nightwing update. He's going to be the director of Nightwing.
He said it's going to be okay.
He tweeted, "Hi, some early V-Day news. Nightwing script expected very soon. Working on Rip-O-Matic to show studio. This is going to be a long process, so don't expect casting news anytime soon. We're taking our time. Expect big things from DC, Jeff Johns, and WB team. Exciting year ahead." So this gives us a whole bunch.
Yeah.
One, they're moving along with the Nightwing movie, which I'm excited for. They're putting together a Rip-O-Matic, which is amazing. If you don't know what a Rip-O-Matic is, basically it's bits and pieces of other movies and shots and shows and stuff like that. They kind of put this together and say, this is kind of what our movie is going to look like, and this is our story. And that's what a Rip-O-Matic is.
Yeah.
So they're putting something together. So they're getting to the point where they're going to be like, hey, studio, this is what we want to do. What do you say? And the studio will go, here's a check. Go make the movie. That's how it happens. So they're at that point. They got... Their script is almost completed, it looks like, or sounds like. They have an idea for a story, so they're going to show the studio what the story is, and we're going to go from there. That's exciting. But what I think the best news is how he's talking about expecting big things from DC, Jeff Johns, and WB team in this year. That means that we're going to be getting some big announcements. We're going to be getting a lot of different things about DC and where they're moving and everything like that. I mean, I'm excited. Like, I'm a big DC fan. I can't wait to see where we're going to go with it. I just can't. Whether you've loved or hated the past 5 movies that have come out, there's no denying that they've hit on the mark a lot of times with their characters, with some of the story points and everything like that. So it's exciting. It's exciting to see where it's going to go. One thing I didn't have on here, because I was going to keep it off, and I decided, I think I'm going to talk about it. More Ben Affleck news. So, it's being reported, I know, Ben Affleck, Batman, he's not going to be Batman, he's going to be Batman, that's basically what's been going on for a year and a half. He is basically stating this. He doesn't know if he wants to be Batman anymore because of the schedule. He was hoping that his schedule for playing Batman, as well as directing the Batman, which he was supposed to do, he was hoping that his schedule would have been very similar to that of Christopher Nolan's during the Dark Knight trilogy, where Christopher Nolan would make a Batman movie, the next year make his own movie, then make a Batman movie, then the next year make his own movie. And he alternated like that. That's what Ben Affleck wanted to do, because he has his own projects. He wants to direct, he wants to act in, and stuff like that. Well,
which makes sense. It's a reasonable thing.
From the time he did BVS, he did do his one movie, Live by Night. Okay, so he was able to do that, but he did Batman vs. Superman, then he was on the set for Suicide Squad for some scenes, and then he did Justice League. He was going to dive into the whole Batman thing after Justice League, but all that stuff, then the reshoots and everything like that, all the disarray of DC and WB, that got him like, do I want to do this? Like, I want to be able to do what I want to do as well as play this character, because it's a character that he loves. So that's kind of where he's at right now. And basically the story has it that Batman is his if he wants it, and if it's not, he doesn't want it, most likely it's going to go to someone like Jake Gyllenhaal. Supposedly Matt Reeves has gone to Jake Gyllenhaal and already said, look, would you be willing or interested in playing Batman if Ben Affleck drops out? If Ben Affleck drops out, it's probably going to go to Jake Gyllenhaal if he wants it. So, again, I'm not against the whole Jake Gyllenhaal thing. I know a lot of people are. I think he'll do an excellent job. He's a little younger. He's got the build. He can bulk up like anybody else. You know, he's not the bubble boy anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's cut. He's really cut.
He's cream of the crop.
So, you know, I have no doubt that he would do well. I really like Affleck. Like, I want to see him continue. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I think a lot has to do with what's going on. This news that we just got from Chris McKay, expect big things from DC. I think, you know, a lot of what's coming in the near future is going to determine what goes on with Ben Affleck as being Batman. Because a lot of people thought that the announcement was going to come around this time after Justice League, a few months after Justice League. Ben Affleck is done. We haven't heard it yet.
He's waiting.
So his contract also has him for one more movie. You got to remember, he was contracted for X amount of movies or X amount of appearances. So, you know, the Flashpoint movie people think could be his last time, or he could do the Batman movie. Who knows? You know, it's up in the air at this point. And I also think that's also going to determine the fact, or the factor of Matt Reeves' movie. Like, is he going to stay within the DCEU, or is he going to go and say, you know what, I don't want to work with Ben Affleck. I don't want to be in that universe. I want to do my own thing with Jake Gyllenhaal. That could happen also. So if Ben Affleck is like, I want to stay, we could get different Batman movies. Or if Ben Affleck wants to leave, we could then get Jake Gyllenhaal in the universe. You know, so there's probably a lot of moving parts that we don't know about yet, but it kind of seems what it is. So we'll see. All right, moving to Marvel news.
I was reading ahead. I definitely like what they did there.
The U.S. Olympians are wearing Marvel-inspired ski gear.
I like that.
So the other day, we got a picture of one of the women's skiers. She was wearing a Captain Marvel inspired outfit. And then the next day or 2 days later, we saw another skier wearing a Captain America outfit, which I thought was really cool. That's cool. You know, I mean, keep the geekdom moving forward.
Yeah.
Keep it moving forward. So I like it.
I like it a lot, too.
Marvel almost greenlit a War Machine movie shortly after release of Iron Man 2.
I don't know how that would have done. Or how that would have even been relevant.
I remember seeing Iron Man 1 in the theaters with Jordan. I was in theater. Jordan and I both went to see Iron Man 1. And there's a moment where Rhodes, he is down in Tony's shop, and he goes to leave, and he looks over and he sees a silver Iron Man suit. And he goes, not today. And he walks away. And I was like, darn. Like, because I was like, it's War Machine. I want to see War Machine. Like, it'd be cool. Because I loved War Machine. And especially in the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s, there was... later on in the series, there was a time when Tony Stark showed up and War Machine came in. And there's like one episode, the one that sticks out the most to me, there was like a press event going on, and War Machine, because War Machine was Tony Stark's bodyguard, essentially. Yeah. And he kind of shows up, and I was like, wow, he's badass, got that big gun on his shoulder, stuff like that. I was like, he's cooler than Iron Man. So I always really liked War Machine, because I thought he was a cool character. So, you know, in Iron Man 1, whenever it was like hinted at, I was like, oh, damn it. Iron Man 2, you then see Rhodes suit up and become War Machine. You know, at the end of Iron Man 2, he's got the big gun on his shoulder. He's War Machine. I'm like, fucking A, yeah, pumped. I would have been totally for a War Machine movie after Iron Man 2. I would have been like, bring it. Not only that, but Don Cheadle. I really like Don Cheadle as an actor. I think he's better than Terrence Howard. You know, Terrence Howard, who's played Rhodes in Iron Man 1. I think Don Cheadle's a better actor than he is. So I would have been completely for a War Machine movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, but now it's irrelevant.
Now it is, but I mean, they're not saying they're making it now. I'm just saying shortly after the release of Iron Man 2, they were like, "Hey, let's do this." Like, I would have been all for it.
I mean, I
wouldn't mind it now. Just do a 45-minute, hour-long episode on Netflix.
Yeah,
there you go.
A Netflix movie.
That's what they need to do. They need to start doing like a little lower budget films for these side characters. You know, Black Widow, you know, and Hawkeye and stuff. Throw it on Netflix. Throw it on Netflix. It doesn't need to be that expensive.
Yeah, it is what it is.
People eat it up. It's that simple. All right, moving on. Natalie Portman is up to return to the MCU. While promoting her upcoming film Annihilation, she was asked about her stance on returning to the MCU, and this is what she said. I'm completely open to everything, but I have no news about that. Ha ha ha.
It says laughs, not ha ha ha.
Oh, damn it. First off, Annihilation, I think, looks pretty badass. I can't wait to see that movie. But I don't think we need Natalie Portman to return, and I don't think she's ever going to. Just because she says she's up to returning
doesn't mean that it's going to happen.
doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I mean, it'd be cool to see Padme Amidala show up in the MCU, but whatever.
She's already been in it.
Yeah, not as Padme, though.
We already know that Thor's pretty much going to be phased out after Avengers 4. You know,
or die.
It's possible. I mean, we don't know what the character arcs are going to bring, but Chris Hemsworth has basically said, like, look, you know, I'm kind of stepping away.
Yeah, he's done a shit ton of stuff that's not Marvel.
So, you know, why have Jane Foster if Thor's not there? Because that's the connection. I mean, I know she's a scientist. She could help out in different ways. You can add her here or there, and, you know, like, just popping up. But why would you pay Natalie Portman to pop up for 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah, she's not that cheap.
Yeah. Not only is she just not that cheap, there's really no reason to.
Yeah, you can get you to play that role.
It's not an Easter egg that people would like, oh, right, look, it was Jane Foster. Like, who the fuck cares? It's Jane Foster. Like, is she screwing Thor? No, I don't care.
She's not taking that thunder cock.
Oh, boy. All right, Black Panther opens this Friday to be exact. What are your expectations, Colton?
What was I was reading something on Facebook. Was it last night? Maybe it was this morning. That someone from a cinema watched it, and they were like, not as good as it seems, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was in the Talking Films group.
Yeah.
Run by Justin Bramlett, which is an excellent Facebook group. Check it out. You know, they talk a lot about movies. It's solely movies, sometimes TV shows, but
he has a group for everything.
Talking movies, or talking films, talking games, talking shit,
talking books, talking shit. You just go there and insult each other. It's awesome. Nah, I'm kidding.
There's a lot of shitty memes on there.
Yeah.
Good memes. Dank memes. We'll go that route.
You can't say that. You're 10 years too old to say that.
I can't say dank.
No, you can't be puffing on that dank.
Anyways, I read the same thing. I actually commented on it because last week's rant or discussion on Black Panther. Some people questioned me on it. Like, they're like, oh, why would you go that route and talking about the cultural relevance of it, you know?
Because that plays a huge role in it.
And it really is. I mean, the guy, like, this guy that said that he saw it, he works at a movie theater, so he got to see it early. And he was like, look, it's a good movie. It's just not as good as everybody's making it out to be. That's what I expected to happen. That is what I was saying last week is going to happen. And it's going to happen because of the perceived cultural relevance as well as it being a Marvel movie. And you put those two things together, it's going to be rated higher than it should be. It's already certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which shouldn't matter at all, but it is. It's already certified fresh.
Hey DC, we're going to play some petty shit. Everybody, give us your powers. We're gonna make a shit ton of fake accounts.
No, that's just fucking stupid. Like, why do that? Like, it's just dumb.
Because petty.
But it's dumb. You know, now you can sit there and go on the flip side, like, that's what happened with Wonder Woman. The cultural relevance, you know, the perceived cultural relevance of Wonder Woman is why it got rated so high. But the difference is, it was a good movie. It was a very, very good movie. Again, I'm not saying Black Panther is going to be a good movie, but from the trailers, you can see that it's going to be your typical Marvel movie. You know, whereas Wonder Woman, we still didn't know what to expect because we only had a few different DC movies prior to that.
Yeah, what, 2? 3,
you know, and all 3 were very different. So you had Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, no, I still just like Suicide Squad doesn't exist in my head.
But you know, prior to Wonder Woman, with the exception of Man of Steel, all 3 were pretty different. You know, and it kind of went the Man of Steel route, but it was still different in its own right, and that's what made it so good, as well as the cultural relevance of, you know, the first big powerful woman superhero on screen. That was a big deal. That is a big deal. So when it comes to Black Panther, like I said, I'm not saying it's not going to be a good movie. I'm excited. I'm more excited about seeing Black Panther than I am Infinity War. Like, I am, because I like the character and I want to see it. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be amazing. And that's what I'm worried about. And that's just what happens with all Marvel movies anymore. Every Marvel movie, they find a reason to say, oh, this is a game changer.
This is game changer.
Why is this a game changer? Okay, I get the perceived cultural relevance of
Captain America's not going to have a shield. Game changer.
Of Black Panther, you know, the first African American, or black, not African American, but black superhero. You know, the first black superhero, and I get that. But again, like we talked last week, he's not. Like, you had Blade, you have Luke Cage, and I get that this is the first one that's really
MCU,
MCU and not so much an anti-hero like Blade or something like that. But again, I feel that there's more talk that is going to the talk about the movie is what's going to make it popular than the actual movie. So that's what I tried to explain last week. I hope people that question me on it understand that I'm not saying anything but that it's the way people are perceiving it that is going to make it as good. It's going to make it seem like it's better than it is. That's all it is. Netflix will be keeping the Defenders shows. So we're talking about the streaming service for Disney, and for a while people were like, oh, is that where the Defenders are going to go? So Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Punisher, is that where it's going to go? Are they going to go there? Well, obviously if they're not going to go rated R, they're not going to have a show like Punisher on there, which was brutal as shit.
Which would be pretty badass if they did.
But it's going to stay on Netflix. So now that we all know it's going to stay on Netflix, now it's kind of, okay, now this is exciting. Now, are they going to fix what they did with the Defenders? Defenders wasn't great. I think it was better than what a lot of people said it was. I actually really enjoyed the Defenders.
You hear that, guys? Marvel. Bob likes Marvel here.
Yeah, and I actually like it more than a lot of Marvel fans do. That's what the crazy thing. Like, I liked the Defenders. Like, that first season of Defenders, I thought was good. I'm not going to say it was amazing, and it kind of got bogged down, but it got really good. Like, I want to say episode 4 and forward, I was sold. I was like, yeah, I'm digging it. So, I mean, I think it needs fixed. I think Iron Fist, they either need to get rid of that whole character completely or fix the character, because
he's just bringing everything down.
He was the big problem with it. Jessica Jones, there was a new trailer for that came out for season 2. Looks excellent. I like the way that they're going with it. I like how it's now going to delve into how she got her powers, her backstory on who she was. The first season was excellent with Purple Man. We know that he's going to show up in some way, shape, or form this season, which is exciting. But it makes sense if you're going to delve into her history and where she comes from. He's part of that, so seeing that's going to be exciting. Daredevil season 3's I think already been filmed or is almost done filming. Punisher season 2's on its way to being filmed. Luke Cage season 2's been filmed. Iron Fist season 2's been filmed. We got all these shows just like sitting there, like ready to come out. Yeah, so it's exciting.
They were probably waiting on that announcement from Disney.
They could be, yeah.
They were just like, "What? We have them."
So I mean, I expect to hear probably Comic-Con. We're going to find out when all these shows come out.
They're just going to drop all kinds of trailers and shit on us.
I suspect we're going to get Daredevil July, and I expect us to hear an announcement, because that one finished film. I'm pretty sure that finished filming after Jessica Jones did. And then after that, I think we'll get Luke Cage in like October. Iron Fist, I think we'll get the beginning of next year, so March, April. Then we'll get probably Punisher the middle of the year next year.
Think he'll be punishing people?
Maybe.
Nah, he'll retire. He'll go from punishing to rewarding.
To rewarding, yes.
The rewarder.
The rewarder.
He's just a kindergarten teacher and he hands out stickers for like an hour. That would be kind of funny. And oh god, here we go. Oh no. Rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. Here we are in this segment of Colton making an ass out of himself.
So, Journey to the Avengers Infinity War. Well, we got to play a little bit of catch-up, covering 2 Marvel films this week since we didn't cover one last week. So the first one we're going to cover is the 2012 mega hit Marvel's The Avengers.
Whee!
So, what do you think?
I'm just going to be really short with this one because I'm only going to talk about the part that mattered. The ending when they all fought together and saved New York City.
No, here's the thing. The crazy thing about the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, obviously, I was looking forward to this movie. I mean, this was before the DCU got started. I think that Avengers came out the same year as Man of Steel. It was Avengers in May, Man of Steel came out in June. So there was no DCEU. The Batman Dark Knight trilogy was over at this point, or was about to end that year, or something like that. I don't know. But no, it was over already. But either way, like, I was looking forward to it. Like, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a good time. I went to the theaters, saw it, was completely blown away. I think, it was one of those...
You had to clean your face off from your own ejaculate?
I think every single person at theater had to clean themselves off after that movie, because at that time, it was just...
It was beautiful.
It was absolutely beautiful. It was amazing. It was everything that you would want in a superhero film. That that didn't put Josh Whedon on the map for me. Buffy did that, but seeing what Josh Whedon did with the Avengers and how he was able to just bring this team together. It was a well-written story. It was good action. It was a villain. It had the typical villain problems of Marvel, but that was before we were like, okay, we're sick of these villain problems with Marvel. It was like, okay, Loki's cool. Yeah, he's got that weird Loki pokey stick, but But again, it was a good time. It was a good movie. I loved it. So the whole thing of the Avengers, it's
the Avengers Initiative.
Prior to this movie, we've seen Hulk, we've seen Iron Man, we saw Captain America, we saw Thor, all these characters in their own right and being superheroes in their own right. Well, Nick Fury has been trying to build the Avengers Initiative to bring Avengers in, or bring superheroes into the mix to help protect against otherworldly threats. And that's the whole idea, and that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. is about. S.H.I.E.L.D. is the driving force of this. It's a secret agency that helps protect the world.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea behind it. Well, the Tesseract, which was played a huge role in the first Captain America movie, plays a role in this.
Yeah, because Loki has it, doesn't he?
Well, it's a source of power that they're trying to understand. They're trying to understand what the source of power is. Well, Loki comes and he's trying to get the Tesseract. He needs the Tesseract to help fulfill his job of helping.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily Thanos, but it's the Kree, and everything like that. So that's his whole thing. So Loki, who we thought died at the end of the first Thor film,
is actually
alive. Comes to Earth, and steals the Tesseract, and he's going to use the Tesseract to open a portal to bring the Kree to Earth. Now, that much. When I say it's well written for a comic book movie, because why?
Yeah. Why? There's no reason.
There really isn't any reason besides to take over the
be
world.
An asshole.
But if it was for Thanos just wants the Infinity Stones, the things for that. So he wouldn't care about the planet. Anyways, besides the point. So because this happens, Nick Fury and Agent Coulson, start gathering the heroes together. So they get Iron Man and is it Captain America? Yeah, they get those two together first.
Yeah.
And then they end up, capturing Loki. But it was all a ploy to begin with. But they capture Loki. As they capture Loki, Thor busts in like, "Hey, what up, yo?"
Yo, I'm Thor.
It's like,
got ramen noodle hair.
But he shows up like, "I need to take Loki back." And like, no, he's our prisoner. So there's a little, fight there between the two of them.
More like political, or not political. More like a
tussle.
Yeah, a conflict of interest between two governments.
There was a fight. They had a fight. There was a cool fight, where Mjolnir hits Cap's shield. There's that big explosion. That was really cool,
you're describing it, and the more I remember it now.
So it was a cool little fight. Loki's just sitting up on the ledge, like, I know what I'm gonna do. Like he's seeing like I can play into this, So they go up into one of onto one of their carriers. When they get there, Bruce Banner is there, like, "Hey, it's Bruce Banner." And they're like, "Are you sure you want him on a carrier? Like, is this a good idea?"
Yeah, like this could be really bad.
This could be bad, What if he gets angry? So you then find out that the Loki Pokey Stick holds the power to.
You keep throwing me off of like Loki Pokey Stick. What?
You find out that it has kind of the power to cause conflict within the team, and the team at this point consists of Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, Romanov, Bruce Banner, and Thor. That's the team. Hawkeye got poked with the Loki Pokey Stick, and his mind is all screwed up. So now he's a bad guy. For the time being.
His mind got woke.
Yeah, his mind got woke. So they have Loki in a prison thingy-majiggy, like a little pod thing, and he's just sitting there, and he's, they're trying to figure out what his plan is. Like, what's your plan? And he, won't really tell them.
He's like, just give me the pokey.
So, basically, the turmoil starts between the team, and that's where you really see, and again, this is my biggest complaint with the MCU, this is where the seeds are planted for the hatred between Steve and Tony.
Yeah.
And after this point, they are never rectified. They are never friends from this point forward, ever. After the first Avengers, once they start, you're reckless, you're just some Boy Scout, that kind of shit. It's never rectified after that point, ever in the MCU, ever, people, ever.
But they were friends. They went out to lunch.
They went and got shawarma.
Yeah.
So
they're friends.
So, the turmoil starts there. Then there's internal fight. Bruce Banner gets all hulked out on the ship. Thor and Hulk start fighting, stuff like that. So everything happens. Everything's playing into Loki's hands. He wanted them to fight amongst each other, so they're fighting, and he can do what he needs to do. Mm-hmm. And again, his whole plan was to open up a portal to bring the Kree onto the planet. So the only power source strong enough to utilize the Tesseract to open a portal is the new Stark Tower that he just created that's running on an arc reactor.
Yeah.
So Loki goes on top of Stark Tower, and he's having Jane Foster's partner, played by Stellan Skarsgård, because I can't remember his name in the movie. He's the one who starts building the portal, to open the portal. So at this time, everybody's kind of like separated, like Bruce Banner got separated because they kicked him off the carrier so he doesn't kill everybody. And,
because
Coulson dies. Everybody's like, "Oh, this sucks. Oh man, this is sad.
Oh man, might as well put on the eyeliner and go to New York."
Only one of us really even knew who Coulson was, but man, is it upsetting that he's dead.
Oh man.
But
we all gonna go down there to the Greece.
So they all decide to get together, and they go to New York City to Stark Tower to take on Loki. The portal opens, the Kree come in, they fight, and that's when the coolest scene happens. That
with
scene,
Banner.
Well, no, not just Banner, but the scene where they are all there's that swing shot where it just goes around all of them as they're all standing there in a circle. Natasha's like, with her gun. Thor's got his hammer. His hammer comes flying back to him. He puts his hand up. You got Iron Man it's a good fucking scene. Like, it's amazing. Probably one of the best visual scenes in any superhero movie to date. Like, it's amazing. But eventually everything happens where S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, look, your Avengers aren't fixing this. We need to finish this now. We're going to send in a nuke. So they send a nuke to New York City because that makes sense.
Because we're going to use that common logic.
So a nuke is sent into New York to destroy Stark Tower and everything like that. Tony Stark's like, oh shit! As Iron Man, he goes and grabs the nuke, and he carries it in through the portal into outer space right before Black Widow closes the portal. So he throws it up in space, and like his suit gives out, so he starts to fall. In space, he falls. Hey, Star Wars fans. Anyway, so you have a problem with Leia, but not Iron Man? I mean, come on. So he's falling through space, and right before she closes the portal, he comes through it. She closes the portal. The bomb explodes. Destroys all of the Kree that are on the planet and everything like that. And then they go get shawarma.
That's where they become friends.
Thor arrests Loki and takes him back to Asgard, and that's that. That's Avengers.
Iron Man bought him.
Again, it was a good movie. It was an excellent movie. Like it has its problems, but
every movie has their problems.
Yeah, but it was just so good. That shot is so worth it. There's a lot of good comedy moments in it. It just, to me, that's why it's in my top 3 Marvel films, because it's just that good. I'm
not even going to attempt Iron Man 3. I've never seen Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 starts
Sorry for me trying to catch us up and covering 2. It's just Bob covering 2 because we just picked the one I never even seen.
Iron Man... Oops, wrong way. Iron Man 3 basically starts off almost immediately after the Avengers, everything like that, a couple months later, maybe. And Tony Stark is having PTSD. Like, he has PTSD from all of the shit he went through.
Relatable.
The bomb exploded, like him falling through and almost dying, Hulk catching and stuff like that. Like, he almost died. So he has PTSD. Understandable.
Yeah.
So the movie, after seeing Spider-Man Homecoming, I appreciate Iron Man 3 more than I did when I first saw Iron Man 3, but I still think Iron Man 3 isn't a good movie. the whole villain in this movie is a scientist who feels wronged by Tony like 20 years ago. He feels wronged by him, so he's seeking revenge on him. That's pretty much the basis of the movie, and honestly, I'm not going to tell it well because I've only seen it twice. He's in the suit for maybe 5 minutes in the whole movie.
Nice.
I mean, he's really not in the suit at all because it was more about, and this is why I appreciate it a little bit more after seeing Spider-Man Homecoming, because, you know, that line in Spider-Man Homecoming where he goes, you know, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Iron Man 3
his,
was all about. That was
his
that story
journey
arc, his journey, exactly, of, you know, determining who Tony Stark is to be able to be Iron Man. The Extremis, you know, made its appearance in it, which I thought was really cool. I liked that idea. You know, seeing Pepper, you know, get into an Iron Man suit was kind of cool. But, you know, again, the villain was underwhelming. You know, there was a big change. Like, they were like, oh, the villain's the Mandarin, and you had Ben Kingsley playing the Mandarin. But then you find out that he wasn't actually the Mandarin. He was just an actor portraying the Mandarin. The real Mandarin was that scientist who was wronged by Tony Stark and blah, 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 you know. So it was all right. You know, the whole movie was about his story arc of finding himself again. Tony finding himself and becoming a better person.
Way too early.
And not necessarily too early. It just wasn't executed well. If it was done well, I would have been all for it. And I'm a big Shane Black fan. Shane Black wrote and directed this movie. I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I love the original Lethal Weapon, which he wrote. You know, the Other Guys, I think is what it's called. It recently came out. Excellent movie. Like, I like Shane Black as a writer and director. I just don't think he should have done Iron Man 3. Or maybe he should have just written it, or maybe he should have just directed it. I don't know. Like, maybe it would have been better. But yeah, definitely not both. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've only seen it twice. Compared to all of the other Marvel films, this is probably the one I've seen the least.
I haven't seen it at all, and I probably won't.
That and Civil War, I think, are the two worst. So, that's kind of where I stand.
You've went off about Civil War multiple times.
So, Next.
So this has been Bob's catch up on the Marvel Universe.
So that's that. But yeah, I mean, we're only, what now? What are we? March, April? Like, we're like 2.5 months. Yeah. 2.5 months away from Infinity War. I mean, again, I'm excited about seeing it. I want to see it. I'm more excited about seeing bless you. I'm more excited about seeing Black Panther, but we'll see.
I mean, I'm not really, I can't say I'm not excited, but I'm not looking forward to it as much as I am Infinity War. I'm gonna see Infinity War. Probably first screening.
Yeah, we probably will. We'll probably leave work and just head to the theater.
Yeah. Which one are we going to see it at? Not Uniontown.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, not Uniontown.
No, God, no. Maybe go to Greensburg. Something like that.
I mean, it's not one of those big ones that we got to go to a nice movie theater for.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, like not going out to Robinson or something like that.
We don't need to
It's not Star Wars. So.
No. So, yeah, I mean, just go to Greensburg. I think we'll be fine. You know.
Those people have etiquette there.
I mean, it's going to be packed there. You know, we'll just make sure that we go out and actually promote ourselves this time.
Yeah.
Unlike the last 3 movies that we're like, we're going to go promote ourselves. We just sit in the corner like, hey, guys.
Well, yeah. But, we were there super early for Star Wars this year.
Which really, like, I can't stand the Pittsburgh area because you go anywhere else, you know, they have lines of people
People are camping out.
Exactly. Like, it's just
Here,
so
people
fun.
are like, oh, man, Star Wars comes out tonight. Might as well go see it.
Mm-hmm. So annoying. So, like, even when I went to see Civil War, even when we went and saw Justice League, people were there a little early. Not crazy early.
Yeah,
but,
like, we were there super early.
Yeah. There
was one guy that was
Justice
there.
League, we were there 2 hours early.
Yeah.
Star Wars, we got there 4 hours early, I think. Wasn't it? It was 4 hours early, and we were the only people there.
For Star Wars?
Yeah.
We were there... No, we were there like 7 hours early.
Really? Was it that?
Yeah, we got there like noon, 12:30.
Well, when I say got there early, because we went at 8 and we did
okay,
first,
so we sat in the movie theater. Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
were there like a good 2 or 3 hours early.
Yeah, so upsetting. But
yeah, it's the area.
Yeah.
Maybe if our fans will help us out, we'll get big enough and we can make an event out of it.
I know, like, I've been talking to Nerdtocalypse, and we want to do something where we have, like, a live show after a big event.
Yeah.
Like, if we can go and, like, rent out, like, like across it, like not a movie theater, but go to the movies, and then across the street where there's like a hotel, like, hey, can we rent a room for 2 hours and just do a live show after that and just discuss the movie? I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I know he was talking about wanting to do that. I'm like, I'm on board. You know?
Fuck it.
Why not?
I mean, we could kind of. I don't know. You got to approve that date off though.
I mean, we would have to get off. Yeah.
Still City Con. There's literally a hotel like right across the street from it.
Yeah, true. But we'll see. We got things. We gotta.
Yeah, that's months away though.
Yeah, we'll figure everything out. But yeah, I got nothing else to.
Just look forward to an announcement, guys.
Yeah, look for we got some things coming up like we always talk about.
We're making moves, making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we
gang.
We will definitely have more in the coming weeks. Yep. So we will let you all know what's going on. So with that all said, I've been Robert.
And it's been your boy,
Colton Nerd. So thanks, man.
Bye.